now we're going to a different subject. I mean, the subject was, you know, you specifically, and so we're trying to help you.
The petition was that whole part.
True.
Right, but the petition, I haven't seen the petition, but does it make, did the other people make a case for why they should be in C2? You're making a case based on your lack of being able to rent. What is, you know, what are
Well, we just gave my case as an example. They were for
They have
having
to
the
make
zone
their
change.
own case as well.
I mean, I guess my thought is to try to move you along, was to start this. I'm not sure if you got a copy of the agenda or not.
No.
The next resolution is to re-engage the comprehensive plan, but that's gonna take, I'm sure, some time.
It's been 2 years.
Well,
Well over 2 years that this was started, you know, before the planning board 2 years ago. In the meantime, it's thousands of dollars because I can't store somebody's motorhome or I can't store somebody's boat on the property during the winter while the building sits empty.
Those are the kinds of things you explain to the zoning board of appeals. And
Well,
the hardship that you endure because of this will have an influence on the board.
But you gotta show money influence.
No, I mean, it's personal, that's your personal hardship. If you can't do business the way you could because of the zoning, then just seek a variance. So, you know, this makes the most sense. This is why we have this.
I mean,
That fails.
I'll do it, it's just, I've been
Yeah.
told that basically it won't pass. I won't get it.
You don't know that.
well,
You just don't know. But
you know, there's been a little bit of a change. I would suggest, let's try it again. I don't know when Vic's gonna have another meeting, you know, I'll get in contact with him and find out. You know, put you on.
yeah.
Well, he has to submit an application before they will,
Alright.
they schedule a meeting once they get his application. So he probably should sit down with Gino and see what he needs.
I made the motion.
Oh. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Esposito. Councilmembers Esposito.
Yes.
Jazinski.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes. The next item is some kind of, again, some feedback from everybody. I know it's getting late, so I'm bearing with me. So not only with Mr. Paul, you know, my few months here, you know, talking to the members of our boards and staff, and then obviously we've met with our local legislators, with Metroplex. The comprehensive plan is just so key to everything in town. It drives just about every aspect of our laws, our financial planning, our economic future. It's a critical, critical piece. I know it's been obviously an item of intense debate, but which is good. Debate is good. You know, debate is excellent. It brings together ideas from this side and from that side. The trick now is this board is putting these ideas together and coming up with a plan. It's not going to be 100%. We'll never get to 100%, but we need to get an updated plan published. So again, my commitment to the town here was, you know, from a financial perspective, and we need a comprehensive plan. We need to have some direction. So, I guess that's what I'm asking now, you know, hopefully in the June meeting, I'll be able to expand on it a little bit more. Again, we've had some initial discussions with, you know, some of our local legislators, you know, they're in the same unified voices, you know, Princetown, you need an updated, comprehensive plan. It's pretty critical. Again, it drives just about everything else in town. So, I'm asking the board to, I'm asking the town board to hereby authorize and delegate Town Supervisor Joyce the powers and duties to form a committee to review the previous revisions of the Princetown Comprehensive Plan, select a version to work with, make necessary changes and updates, and recommend the final plan to the town board for discussion and adoption. This committee will report to the town board at each regular meeting with the status and current findings. Actually, I'll be asking for each regular and agenda meetings. My commitment to you folks and to the town is I'll be pushing on this committee pretty hard to get it done and get it processed, you know, through the town, through the county, and get it done. It's been just lingering for 5 or 6 years now, so it'll be my, you know, hopefully the board's expectation that this committee, and I hope to pick members from the left camp and the right camp, and say you guys need to come to a meeting of the minds here. But we're going to push it through pretty hard. So, do I have a resolution? Oh, sorry.
Before we, just for clarification, Mike, when you say review the previous revisions, now is that from the last 5-person committee you're talking about those changes, or are we talking way back when we had the comprehensive plan committee?
The two plans.
So that, those are the two different things we're gonna be looking at, and we're gonna have to either combine them or choose one to go with.
Something. You gotta go forward.
All right,
It has
I
to
just
go
wanted
forward.
for clarification.
Yeah.
I'll make the resolution, or the motion. Sorry.
Mike, so you want to add, at the last line, it says that every regular and agenda meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that how you want?
Yeah.
Okay, Joe?
Joe, yeah, sorry. Do you have a second?
Second.
Councilmembers Esposito,
Yes.
Krasinski,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes. All right, 2 more folks, and then we'll get to
Two.
Well, I got one written here, next one. That's all right.
Yeah.
Come on, over there. Office Policies and Procedures Committee. So again, kind of going back to, you know, this isn't a rule by supervisors, not a rule by anything. We're going to be trying to put together a committee to review the policies and procedures of town hall. You know, again, I'm just still a very firm believer that, you know, efficiencies can be gained. So again, I know there's some resistance to myself making these changes, so we're looking at the board, or I'm asking the board to let us set up a committee to review some office policies and procedures. So it won't necessarily be myself out there, it'll be, you know, a board, you know, looking at everything. In the interest of time, and I think I've already kind of expanded on that a couple times, so. Do you have a question? Want me to?
No, I would like to stress the importance of something, because when you have turnover, when you have office procedures, the new kid comes in, he can look at what, you know, how the old guys did it. And it might not be perfect, but it brings continuity. Like for me, I'm struggling with that now as a new town board member, trying to understand how the budget comes together, what you know, budget categories this and that. And if it were written down, it's something I could go to. But So I think this is a very important resolution.
So, do I have a motion that the town board of the town of Princetown hereby authorizes and delegates to town supervisor Joyce the powers and duties to form a committee to review and update the town's current office policies and procedures? Be it also resolved that all town officials and staff will cooperate with and assist such committee in carrying out the task. The updated policies and procedures will be presented to the town board for discussion and adoption. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Councilmembers Esposito,
Yes.
Jazinski,
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes. The last resolution for the night, I'll go through it quickly. It's the resolution to develop a spreadsheet to attach to the back of the agenda meetings, or the agendas, highlighting the vouchers. So,
So what do you want to call it?
Voucher spreadsheet.
yeah, I guess about voucher spreadsheet for agendas. So do I have a motion that the town board of town of Princetown authorize and delegates to Supervisor Joyce the powers and duties of form a committee to review and update the town's current agenda spreadsheet for what is the word I'm looking for, General?
For agenda.
For
Town board
agendas,
agenda.
claims, transfers, and individual payments. Do I have a motion?
Spreadsheet, what about spreadsheets for all expenditures?
That's a good word too.
I ought to take it in.
Well, you know, the thing is, you don't want this to get too clumsy. You want it to be, so if it says, you know, resolution to approve claim number X to claim number Y, and there's 14 items there, so that you just list out the 14 items that they are, it was paid to.
I'm just trying to help them with the word expenditures.
We're good.
So I think,
So Joe, you're going to do that, and then it gets attached to.
well, yeah, now if the board decides that I'm the guy to do it. I
Or
volunteer.
whoever, okay.
I'll make the motion.
So we say spreadsheet for all expenditures.
Claims and transfers.
Can you read what you have in there after you've done that?
Oh, not much. I take it out in here.
Good? Okay. I think there's one out there. I'm not sure I followed it all.
Yeah,
Just
I
want to
know.
be clear on this.
It's probably better to say a spreadsheet for claims and transfers, because that's exactly what you do. You don't do any more than claims
That's
and
right,
transfers.
that's
So
right.
why don't you just state those two things,
Okay.
and then it's pretty clear,
Okay.
you know.
All right, so we're looking for or do I have a motion, resolution for Joe Drzezinski to develop a claims and transfers spreadsheet that can be attached to the back of each agenda meeting
I'll
for
make the
public
motion.
viewing. Do we have a second?
Who was first?
Bob.
Bob?
I'll second.
Councilmembers Esposito?
Yes.
Jazinski?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes. All right, resolutions are complete for tonight. The floor is open for additional public comment.
I have one.
Thanks
I
for being
just
patient.
want you to understand one thing. When you go in a town hall, any town hall, town, Florida, whatever, the first person that you go to is the town clerk. I'm not saying Carol, I'm just saying any. They are the hub of the town hall. They are the first person you go to, the first person you ask questions, the first person that gives you the paper you need, the information you need. She does, you have to, she does do a lot. And like you said, like 7 days to you is nothing, because he's still working on the road over there. And how many months have I been coming to the meetings? We haven't got the road done yet. And I don't know what everybody else is working on, little bitty things. But she's expected to get it done in 7 days. She is a person. I mean, really, you have to give a little, Mike. You want a lot and you're gonna get a lot, but you gotta give a little too.
We did.
And appreciate what you got.
I do. Thank you. Thanks for
Okay,
checking
Mike,
on me.
you keep it straight,
I'm trying.
or else.
I'm kind of looking forward to the RLs.
Oh, okay.
It might be better than,
6:16, I tell you.
any additional comments?
I just have a quick,
Yep.
really quick. Irritating Nancy C. Devon Road. The Records Advisory Board, I know the town clerk is required by state law to retain documents for a minimum amount of time. But having this Record Advisory Board is good because the town board may want to archive documents longer than what the state requires. So I think this is a really good idea to have this type of board. So, you know, there is a minimum by the state, but it's up to the town if they want to retain records for longer periods of time than that. So I just thought I'd pass that on.
Thank you.
Mike, do you want to talk about the subdivisions? Greg's stuff with-
Yeah, let's open it up now.
Correct.
That's a later agenda item, we're still open for public comment.
Oh, that's,
Yeah,
oh, okay.
it's on there, it's
No,
coming
I-
up.
It's not on, I guess I have an older copy of the agenda, so I don't have it on here.
Any more thoughts from the floor? All right, Michelle, you,
I'm leaving.
oh.
I have to go, thank you.
Councilman concerns,
I have one or two.
fire away.
I just would like to say I appreciate the meeting that we've had tonight. I mean, the crowd. I appreciated everybody coming out. One thing I would like to say is I like the idea of no mudslinging. Okay, I strongly feel that our town board meetings are for taking care of town business. Okay? I don't care which side of the fence you come from. I strongly feel that this is not the place at our town board meetings to be airing dirty laundry or attacking one another. Okay? I'm just a board member, councilman, but I noticed we didn't have much of that tonight, and I want you to know I appreciate it. It would be great to continue that way. I think it's time that we let bygones be bygones, let the past be the past, and we move forward, work together. And I guess there was a comment that was made earlier, something about that we as board members were, we were for telling people what they could do and couldn't do with their property. Now, I want to go on record as saying, I am not one of those. I do not feel that way, and I don't agree with the town telling landowners what they can do and cannot do with their property. Within reason. We do have laws and regulations, and we've got to abide by them, but I think this kind of gets thrown out of context, and I, for one, am not for telling people what they can do and can and cannot do with their property. So I just wanted to clear that up because it kind of got thrown into a whole group of us, and I do not feel that way. So that's all I had.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Joe.
We're up to 10. I think these people have been very generous in sitting here with us tonight. But I agree with Bob. It's been a very civil meeting tonight. And so I look forward to more of them.
Yes, we passed the resolution to look into the solar panels. We have a committee to do it. Have you got anybody in mind?
I didn't forget any committees. We just say we're gonna form one. So I can still work on it. Did you want to be on it, Lou?
Can I be on it?
Hey, well,
Please?
7 days, yeah, go ahead.
So, any comments?
That was my comment.
So, I want to take a couple minutes and then move on real quick. So, the last March meeting got a little bit out of hand. And I'll take responsibility on it. I'm supposed to be running the meeting. You know, again, it got out of hand. I think it just got out of hand. Let's leave it at that. I want to kind of address, you know, why my concerns about getting documentation turned over to me, you know, the issue about the laptop and stuff. It doesn't matter to me whether the past administration kept documentation or didn't keep documentation. It's, you know, it's really kind of not a huge point. The point is that it's actually costs the town money when people lose production. For example, the laptop. The laptop, we needed a password. That was it. We just asked for a password. We found the laptop. It was lost. We found it. So when we came to the town board, or to the planning board meeting to use the laptop, we opened it up and there's, you know, a user ID that we don't recognize. So I was there, you know, Gino was there, the planning board, everybody's sitting there waiting for the laptops that can use the projector. So that's just lost time. That's the concern, folks. It's not, you know, who has what, who's holding on to what the secrets are. It's your money. You're paying us to work and we're stuck. That is the root cause. So, you know, just here is just the one bill for $55 to get the password. That's what it comes down to, is, you know, whether I was handing a bunch of paper or not. You know, the comment was, oh, Mike, you're mad at everybody because you're struggling. Well, yeah, I'm struggling, but it's costing you folks money. That's the problem. You know, I can't get started. It takes me 2 months to get up to speed. Everybody's struggling because nothing's been turned over. That's the problem. You know, the previous administration could have kept piles of paper. It doesn't matter. Just leave me some, so I can walk in and be efficient when I hit the floor and not have to hunt and peck and beg and find out what's going on, where it's going, what's going on a road up north. I don't know, because I don't have any paper. There's no transition. It's just lost time. That is really what the issue was. So, you know, we've had some, as you can see in another handout there, that, you know, some files were lost. We'll say lost, all right? We were able to retrieve them from a previous backup. The issue, again, is not necessarily how the files were lost, but the lost productive time. So these were files from Pat Bishop when she was a previous planning board chair. So they're not only Pat's files, they're all the planning board's files for those years. So every meeting times 5 for 6 people, plus Pete's time, plus everybody's time. This is all in those files, and those files are deleted. If you start looking at it, it's thousands of man hours. Thousands of man hours. So, you know, just for ease of addition, let's say 2,000 man hours were lost over 2 years, times $20 an hour. You know, what do we got? $20,000 lost. That's a huge amount of time. Now you have to make it up. That is what the problem was. You know, everybody can have a copy of whatever they want. You know, the problem was that when we changed administrations, the reason it's taken us this far, or this long into April to get, you know, caught up to we have a productive meeting is because we were struggling. I was struggling. Where's the stuff? Where's the paperwork? What's going on? Nothing. That was the issue. It was, you know, it was nothing personal. It's business. It's town business. It's amount of me working for you productively, being able to say, hey, you know what? I earned my pay. and I wasn't able to do that effectively. I had struggled to catch up and then, finally get productive. Never mind that, I was a rookie to begin with, so. Couple more pieces. Tim, I will answer you now. You asked me what was said in public last week about your position. So this was what was said. I said it was a mutual understanding that we parted ways. I left it at that, Tim. That was what I
Okay,
said.
no, I'm just telling you what people came up.
I'm
I don't know
saying-
what's going on, and I didn't realize last March, the March 13th meeting was as difficult as it was.
So I had to sit up here because it was pretty hot up here, but
Yeah.
anyway, that's what was said.
I mean, I just had 3 people
respected
come
what
up to
you
me.
said, and I said, all right,
Okay.
we'll just let it go. We'll call it a mutual parting of the ways, and left it at that. I didn't go into anything about anybody being fired. I didn't say anything. I said it was a mutual understanding, and I left it there. In the
Okay.
meantime, I had to recover. We hired Amy. That's into that. And then the last final thing I wanted to say is Tim Bishop has done some great work on the website. If you guys could take a few minutes to look at it, please send him some suggestions. I know he's got a photo contest up there. I'm not sure what the prize is, but I'm sure maybe it'd be the putting the winner's picture on the front page of the website. I don't know. But he's done some great work on there. We continue as the team to try to, improve the services to the town, control our costs, and work together. So that is, my personal objective here. And with that, that's my final concern. I guess now we can move into the final discussion.
That's me.
That's you. Well, it's actually not, it's it for you, but then we gotta go into executive session. So.
I'll try to
You guys are gonna work your money tonight, you're making your money.
I'll try to be as brief as possible. In the last planning board meeting, we had a subdivision come in, and we were searching through the subdivision regs for some item, and it came to my attention that we didn't all have the same version of the subdivision regs, which kind of startled me because as far as I knew, the copy from 1997 had never been updated. I had worked on this extensively back in 2007 with Todd Mathis, a former attorney, to do some revisions and update it. And I think, Bob, you were on the board at the time, but I had several drafts floating around, but they were never, as far as I know, never formalized, never actually adopted. There was a couple of things that were stuck on and they were never changed. So, to my dismay, I realized that the copy that most people had in some kind of new updated code book was what I think is a set of revisions from 2007 that never got adopted. And so I went back home, and of course I still had this on my computer, and I looked at it, I compared it, and it was in fact a set of revisions. And the copy that someone gave me still showed track changes on there, things were crossed out, things were added. And the really strange thing was a lot line adjustment that the planning board had worked on, and some language that we had actually put in the subdivision reg revision was in there, which was completely different from the lot line adjustment language that the town board had adopted in 2009. So there's a few problems here. I mean, the first one being that there's an unofficial copy in people's books that is not the copy that it's supposed to be there. I had a different copy than other people. I was never updated on this new code book when I came back into office in January. There's legal issues if we're working off of a set of revisions that were never adopted, and we made some, applicant do something that's in that version that's not in the official version, and, we're subject to litigation. I mean, a lot of the things that are the revisions that we worked on as a planning board are still relevant and probably should be adopted, because a lot of the things are obsolete that were in the old regs. So I encourage the town board to maybe come back to the planning board and ask us to continue on that process of revision. But as far as I know, these revisions were never adopted, and that needs to be changed in the code book to put it back to the original 1997 one until such time as we can get the revisions incorporated.
So I think this kind of goes along with, you know, what Dan had mentioned earlier. I know, you know, a sidebar with Gino. I think this is one of the reasons we're going into executive session here in a minute. So, you know, we've got some work, and I'm referring to the board and volunteers that, you know, we've got some work cut out for us in the next 18 months, but we need to start looking at updating our laws and our policies.
I mean, the revisions we can do right away. It's nothing that requires a comprehensive plan. I mean, we're not changing them substantially. In many cases, it's like dates and times and who does what that needs to be cleaned up. Some stormwater, things like that that have come along that are referred to that need to be updated. So that's something we can, I mean, it's basically done. We did it once already, so we can just pull it out and let you guys take a look at it and start it over again.
Subdivision regs are not by law, they're by resolution, so they're easy to change, as opposed to zoning, which is a law, so you can do it easily.
All right, any thoughts for Pat or questions?
And just one suggestion I might have is, if we're gonna go through this, and I think this is one example, but there are, you know, I don't know to what extent, maybe, you know, Carol, is to what extent we are comfortable that the code book that has been given to me, at least, and that we have on record here, is accurate and contains all the town's local laws, or if it might be beneficial for the town to do some record searching at the Secretary of State's office and in the town's record, and do a comprehensive analysis, make sure we've got one updated set. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Association of Towns or the Secretary of State had some grant funding that might be available so that the town wouldn't necessarily have to pay for that. It would be an expensive proposition.
It's impossible to keep up with it. I had talked to 2 years ago, the planning and zoning boards to give me back the books so I could somehow put this together.
Yeah, I think it
To
would
no
be the-
avail. But I did have Kathy come in and try and update some of it, and then I just gave it to Gina.